Hi everyone, I hope that you're all doing well. I'm super happy to be back today because I'm gonna share my thoughts on The Silent Patient, which is the first book that we read in my new book club, which I launched about a month ago. If you want to see the announcement video, I'll make sure to link it up here. But basically, I launched my book club last month and this was the first book that I decided to read along with you. And I'm gonna share my thoughts on this book in today's video, and I'm also gonna share the book that we are all gonna read in March. So the first book that I chose for the book club is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I was really excited to start reading this book because I've heard everyone raving about it, and it actually won the Goodreads Awards last year in 2019. So I was really excited going in. Basically, the plot is that Alicia shot her husband in the head 5 times, and before that happened, they seemed to be a really nice couple. They seem to have this perfect marriage, and then we get the point of view of Theo, who's a doctor treating Alicia, and basically after she shot her husband, Alicia has never spoken a word again. She's never explained, she never answered any question, and she's basically completely silent. So Theo gets into the hospital and gets to work with her and find out what happened the night she shot her husband. So I'm gonna be completely honest with you. This book was a bit of a letdown. This was a 3 out of 5 stars for me. There were some good things and there were some terrible things in it. So first of all, I really liked the premise of the story. I really enjoyed the fact that we didn't know why she did what she did, and we are not sure if she even did shot her husband. So it's very confusing at the start, which I really like. I also really like the fact that we get some bits of Alicia's diary in it, because otherwise everything is explained by the point of view of Theo, and I didn't expect to have access to Alicia's diary in it. So I really like that. That being said, I have a few points that I absolutely didn't like about this book. First of all, I didn't like any of the characters, and I know some books are not meant for you to like the characters, but for me, especially when it comes to thrillers, I love to have some sort of sympathy or liking for characters, no matter if sometimes it could be the bad guy or the good guy, but at least I feel invested in the story. This wasn't the case at all. I didn't like Alicia, I didn't care about her husband, I didn't like the doctor, and I didn't really like anyone working at the clinic or any of their past friends. I really didn't feel any strong connection to the characters, and I feel like some of them were really there were such caricatures of characters and just people in general, and I feel like we could get to know a few things about them, but nothing that truly defines them, if that makes sense. So I didn't like that, and I didn't like the fact, well, from the beginning you can feel that Theo is obsessed with Alicia and her story, and I got a feeling of what was going to happen. And if you've read the book, I was pretty much right. I knew. I'm gonna put spoiler over here, so if you haven't read the book, I'll make sure to include the minute that you can jump to not have any spoilers, basically. But if you've read the book, the ending was pretty much what I expected from the first 70 pages. I hated the ending. I feel like everything was wrapped with a pretty bow, everything had an answer, and still so many questions weren't answered. I would have loved to get the point of view of the doctor who treated Alicia back in the day. I would have loved to know more about her husband. I feel like we got so much about her family, but it wasn't super important until the very last bits. And I don't know, the whole thing about the painting and the mythology and all of that, that seemed way too far-fetched for me, and I really didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that Theo gets arrested and busted at the end. That was it would have been so much better if it was a bad ending. If he was never caught, I would have loved that, because although we all want a good, neat ending, I feel like this was wrapped up in 10 pages, and I didn't like that. I like bad endings. I didn't get why Theo's wife stayed with him. It didn't make sense for me, and so many things didn't make sense, and then at the end the author wrapped everything with a pretty bow, and I really didn't like that. What I really liked was the rhythm of the book. I read it within a couple of days and I really loved. I was really lost in the story, like not invested, because I wasn't invested in the story, but this was a page turner. That's the term I was looking for. So overall I give it 3 stars because it was definitely entertaining, and it was a page turner, so that's good. That being said, I didn't like the ending, and I didn't care for any of the characters. So a bit of a letdown. I'm sorry guys if you feel the same way. I really hoped this would be a 5-star. I was actually debating between this book and another thriller that I really want to read, so maybe we'll get to that other book in 4 or 5 months. We'll see down the line, because I've heard so many good things, and all the reviews of like the booktubers and the other readers that I follow on Goodreads that have pretty similar taste to mine have said good thing about the other book. So if you've read The Silent Patient, make sure to share your thoughts in the comments. I would be so curious to hear what you guys have to say about the book. So for next month's book, I actually asked you guys to help me choose the book. I chose 5 non-fiction books, and I put up a poll on the Goodreads group and on the Instagram account, and everything was a tie until the last minute. And finally the book that is number 1 in the poll is by Roxane Gay, and it's Not That Bad. So what I've read so far, Not That Bad, is a collection of essays about rape culture and just women in general in today's world. I actually read one of Roxane Gay's book before, that's Bad Feminist. It's just behind me on the shelves. I actually read it a couple of years ago and I really enjoyed it. That was a collection of essays about today's feminism and just women in general, and I really enjoyed that. And ever since, I've been following her on Twitter and just watching a couple of interviews that she did. And Not That Bad is a book that caught my eye a couple of months ago. I'm so happy that we decided on this book. I cannot wait to get it started, because I feel like nowadays it's especially relevant. We've had the Weinstein trial going on in the US. We had the big blow up at the César in France with the Roman Polanski movie, and I feel like it's something that is talked a lot, and I'm really curious to read what she has to say on the subject. I really like her writing, so I'm hoping this book is gonna be a 4 or 5 stars. I actually got it on the Scribd app on my phone. Now, if you want to subscribe to Scribd, I believe you can get a 30 or 60 days trial. Basically, Scribd, it's not sponsored by any shape or form, but it's an app that I really enjoyed because you can get books, magazine, audiobooks on there. It's really great, and you can get the free trial, so you could actually read this book for free if you want to, so that's great. But if you don't want to do that, I'll make sure to include links to like Amazon and audiobooks and all of that in the description box. But I actually got it on Scribd, and the great thing is that they have like the ebook version as well as the audiobook. So if you have a long commute to work, or if you like to listen to an audiobook when you're cooking or cleaning around the house or folding laundry or anything like that, you can get the audiobook on there for free. I didn't check if she's the one narrating it or not, but anyway, it's gonna be great to listen to it as an audiobook if you're a little bit busy. So I hope that you'll get excited for March's book. I sure am. I'm really happy that we picked this book. It has been on my to-read pile for a couple of months, and I'm really excited to get down to it. I hope that you enjoyed reading The Silent Patient. If you did, don't forget to leave me your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to join us on the Goodreads group. It's gonna be so fun to share all of our thoughts on there. So yeah, hope to see you there. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care everyone, bye!